Zapdos versus Arrow lead is always interesting because Arrow wants to rock, obviously, immediately, but there's so many factors complicating it, like the fact that you don't want to just rocks and then have the rocks go away immediately because Zapdos is very often paired with Starmie on bulky teams, or more balanced teams, I should say, and you don't know whether it's balanced or more offensive based on the first turn. Unless it uses Discharge, in which case that gives a lot away. But there's that also makes Arrow sometimes want to use Stone Edge, and that like there you go. Okay, and it is a bulky Zapdos with which does not get the para and does not dodge Stone Edge. If I'm Malekith, I think I go for unless I have a Ghost or I'm. Does that Arrow have pressure? It does have. Yes, it does. So that doesn't necessarily reveal anything because Arrow Lead should always have pressure. But part of the reason it uses pressure is because its default is Rockhead. I think no, the default might be pressure. Whatever. Point being, okay, there's the rocks. If Starmie comes in to try and spin, then it can KO itself with a Double Edge, which is sometimes used for the spin block. So Dredre makes a good call and says, look, you might take out my Zapdos, but you will not get those rocks up for free. And that kind of positional play is the kind of thing I like. But that was a great Stone Edge from Malekith because it catches out offensive Zapdoses trying to not fall on the back foot immediately by attacking Arrow as it rocks. And against a defensive Zapdos, and you find out information immediately. So here comes Heatran. And if anything's inviting Starmie in, it's this. If the Starmie gets a... Okay, so maybe if Swampert's coming in, it might not be a Starmie. It could. Oh, yeah, it's an offensive Swampert, making it less likely. Well, not less likely, but it doesn't dictate it as much. Now, the question is, do you really want Swampert switching into Heatran like this on such an offensive team where it is very likely running HP Grass? Nope, it just goes, wow, what a move. He scares out the Pert. He says, all right, if that is HP Grass, then I accept that. But if not, then Malekith is not staying in, and therefore I will Ice Punch the switch, and that Breloom takes it. It's a pretty big chunk, so I think there's a bulk on that Loom, and I don't necessarily know that that's offensive. I guess if it's a more offensive team, it's probably a more offensive Breloom, and then it's just not a CB Swampert. No, CB would have done more, surely. As it can't be like an impish Loom on that team. But, yeah, that was a great move, but Breloom still, unless he thinks he's slower, and he goes to Gyarados instead. So, the thing is that as nicely as Dredre is playing to not just fall behind, which is important given that you are facing a very high-pressure style of team here, there is still the issue of Malekith has rocks up, and I guess he didn't take the opportunity to Spore with Breloom, which makes up for that whole losing your lead to get rocks up thing. But now he's also got Gyara with rocks up. Of course, neither of the well, I guess bulky Zapdos is a Gyara check, but it can't be your only Gyara answer because, Stealth Rock. So, I think this is the perfect place to go for a DD and really pressure Dredre. I mean, if there's a T-Wave Starmie, then that can, which is, very possible. It's Discharge Zapdos after all. That's what's kind of messing with me. Discharge Zapdos generally means like bulky or balanced team. And then the Swampert is something you don't generally see on stuff like that. So, I'm really wondering. But yeah, if I'm Malekith, I go for DD and force Dredre to respond, to reveal another like good Gyara answer. Because, Pert chunked, Zapdos down, and the pressure is on. So... yeah, but you gotta have another Zapdos answer, of course. Or Zapdos answer, a Gyara answer. I mean, Malekith should probably have a T-Tar or Latias anyway, because it's not like his team is exactly amazing against a Zapdos in good condition. But his team is more the kind of style that relies on beating Zapdos through pressure and overwhelming it before it gets a chance to get comfortable. So, Dredre... yeah, there's also... in addition to the fact that Dredre taking a while to answer this Gyara is kind of worrying. Nope, there's Kingdra, which can't really see this beating Gyara one-on-one. I guess if it specs HP Electric, then sure. But like it'll live specs Draco, it'll be 2 KO'd by EQ. And it's a sub-Gyara, so we can even see what it locks itself into. And there's specs Draco, and now it's completely dead. So this might just be a runaway. Oh, it's sub-T. Oh, I hate that set. Oh, I don't think it's good at all. Well, that -2 specs Draco still does a ton. So there's that. But imagine if you had actual coverage right now. But yeah, and the fact that, I mean, he might lose another Pokemon, but he's probably not going to lose to the Gyara itself because its only move to attack is quad resisted by Kingdra. And yeah, Para Flinch, yeah, Draco Miss, yeah, full Para. Or I said Para Flinch. But, yeah, I am not a fan of this Gyara. I think it tries to win too much, you know. Let me phrase that better. It's overkill. It tries to take things that it would already win generally with other moves and tries to win them even more. And I think you were better off with other moves. I do like Sub-Gyara though. I think it's a great set, but the mono waterfall, let me just T-wave and waterfall flinch everything. I'm not a fan of that. It's so worthless against Breloom of all things. Anyway, so Dredre is really coming packed with water types. I also wanted to say that Dredre's style of team is generally very offbeat. So something as rote, let's say, as a T-Wave Spin Starmie doesn't really seem like his wheelhouse. So based on that, all the more reason to DD. Anyway, so Dredre has another great waterfall answer. So the Gyara isn't as threatening as it seemed. But if it was just like a standard offensive Gyara, it would have been a lot of trouble. So Malekith goes to Heatran as he expected another Draco, but now he's got a... Now the tides are reversed. Well, I mean, Heatran can blow up Suicune, and that would definitely be very good for Malekith because he's got an offensive team against a full health or a nearly full health Suicune outside of Sand. You know, Loom will die to it. Gyara is obviously toast. Heatran doesn't do well against it, and there's other Pokemon like Lottie, T-Tar, Jirachi stuff. And he catches the boom with Kingdra. Beautifully done. Really beautifully done, actually. So yeah, now with these other Pokemon, I'm not saying Latias can't help with Suicune, but once it gets that calm mind, it can get ugly. So, it's the best it's going to do is like trick and lock into Ice Beam and then try to win with like Jirachi or a Metagross or T-Tar, if it's a DD, for example. But there's also the possibility that there's a Dragonite in there somewhere, which is another Suicune victim. So offensive Suicune is amazing against other offensive teams. And, of course, Dredre has not revealed a Steel type yet. So that kind of defensive sturdiness is going to be really, really effective into whatever Malekith's unrevealed 2 are because of its wide coverage and the Pokemon that are generally used in such slots and the fact that Heatran just had to explode, i.e. one of the things that Steel types are afraid of. So... there's a Rotom last, so there's the spin block for Arrow. So, wow, that's a very heads-up move on Malekith's part, not sacrificing the Gyarados and just going right to Rotom. Because if he tried to T-Wave it, like, well, if it tries to Calm Mind, I'll T-Wave it and then it'll help me beat it with Loom, then he would have gotten subbed on, so nicely done there. Now he's got a T-Bolt, almost surely a Scarf set. And the thing is that the Swampert is actually quite good here because, yeah, before the Gyara threatened it, but now Gyara is at 39. Well, I mean, it's at 39, yes, but it'll be 45 after lefties. So there's the Gyara on the Swampert. Yeah, it didn't get intimidated though, but it's not threatening with water to sweep like it did before. So I wonder if he could even stay in an Ice Punch. And obviously Breloom is a threat here. But this is a great tense game. I'm digging it. So, I mean, he could go back to Suicune and just wall this and just spam Ice Beam. And because it clearly doesn't have Protect, or it would have used it against the Rotom. Oh, wow. Okay. That is a really fast Swampert, first of all. And I must be messing up my mental calc or something, because I suppose that could be... yeah, because if it was... I guess it is Choice Band. If it wasn't, then Malekith wouldn't have switched in there. So I guess that is a much bulkier Loom than I gave it credit for. But I suppose that makes sense in hindsight, given that the Gyarados is T-waving, so you don't feel like you need as much speed on the Loom, and you want to bulk it out. Which also makes sense, because look at Malekith's team against Tyranitar, not very secure, so you want bulk to switch in, and then you'll have Mach Punch to take it on. So here comes Latias. I mean, I think Sleep Talk Latias is terrible, but I can accept it here, given the very heavy emphasis on water types and, the choice items specifically, which means that when that Loom comes in, and it is going to come in, you are really going to have to do something. Yeah, okay, so there's T-Tar. Almost, that's surely DD. So it eats a big sleep-talking Specs Draco, but the only way that... Well, no, it's in Suicune range now. Never mind, yeah. So this is looking very, very positive for Dredre. Now, for those who don't know, the way Choice Sleep Talk works in Gens 3 and 4 is that if you Sleep Talk and your Choice, then on the subsequent turn it fails. So here comes Jirachi, and he just gets crunched right away. I guess he'll try to go for... Yeah, the only thing he can really do is try and go for a DD on... Yeah, force Latias in again, force it to Sleep Talk, and then... Actually, no, it is in Suicune, right? Or, no, Suicune could be in... No, okay, let me rephrase that. The Suicune is max HP because it's sub, so I think it will live a crunch, just off the top of my head, although grain of salt. But Stone Edge would be tougher. So he has to get a DD for the T-Tar, though, and he's not going to get that easily. So what I think he's going to want to do is provoke a... Nice. That's a great use of late game Stealth Rock. There's the Steel type, by the way. And yeah, that's a really, really nice use of rocks there, because it brings T-Tar from 36, if I remember, to 24. And that will that means that if Swampert locks into Ice Punch, then it will still be KO'd, because I was going to say one of the few ways that this T-Tar can still get as Malekith locks in a Shadow Ball to prevent Swampert from switching in safely. One of the few ways that T-Tar could get that DD that could win the game would be against... Oh, is he just hoping that the Jirachi's slower? Because otherwise that's just ball game. Oh, is it Scarf? There's no way that Jirachi's actually that slow. I mean, not that it really makes much of a difference. Given... So, yeah, well, he's just praying that it doesn't have Ice Beam. Oh, it even gets KO'd by 2 surfs. Yeah, he was going to have to hope that it could DD on the Swampert locked into Ice Punch, or Latias locked into Sleep Talk. So that could have gotten hairy, but no, it looks like that's going to be the game. Unless he wins with Scarf... Oh my god, it is Scarfed. Wow. Scarf T-Tar in such a team is very unusual. Unless this is just a very slow sub Suicune and a very slow Jirachi, neither of which seem likely on such an offensive team. I know he's got Discharge Zapdos and Jirachi that probably has Body Slam, but that still seems unusual. So, yeah, especially because I'm sure that Rotom was Scarf. What else would it be? Not that Scarf Rotom and Scarf T-Tar don't go well together. They used to be very, very popular on, balanced, semi-stall-ish teams. But those are, more balanced and semi-stall-ish teams which have spikes to damage the opponent. So you don't have to have greater utility that you would get from non-choiced variants of these two Pokemon. So, I enjoyed that game. So let's see what's happening in this Sword and Shield game. Well, the first turn Draco Meteor missed. That's hilarious. And it would have died. Okay. Funny, he just stayed in. I guess Peach... I don't know, double switches, whatever. I'm not thinking about this very hard. Let's just see what happens here. Let's take it easy and just watch the game without analyzing it. Knock off... Wow, yeah. So this is a little bonus on at the end. This game is already finished, by the way. I see both players have said GG, but I don't know who has won. Galarian Slowking is such a cool Pokemon. I like it a lot. Here comes Weavile. No way. Oh, it's not a... Was that the move? I don't know. It's not Boots Weavile, and it seemed like a very free sludge. I guess he expected him to not try and Sludge Bomb into Ferrothorn. I don't. But then again, I don't know what I'm talking about. And well, I'm not slowing down enough. I'll give myself a little credit in that I think I could figure out if I slowed down and thought about it. But I'm not doing that, and I definitely don't have the experience to do so very quickly. So this poor Poison Dragapult. Now just spam Shadow Ball, right? There's nothing. Yeah. But Spadef Heatran is very tanky against neutral attacks. Big Magma there. But is he going to roost on Earth Power? Yeah, nice move from Michael. EP again? Nope. Oh, that catches everything. Nicely done. God, this Heatran set is so broken if you don't face a Clef. Or like a super stall team with Blissey, but you know, against moderately paced teams. Good lord, that did a lot. I know, like, even without the crit, that would have done a ton. Is that Specs? That has to be. Well, poor Rotom. Oh, never mind. Another KO. I was like seeing Volcanion. When Volcanion came out in 2015, some people really wanted to ban it immediately because it was so good against balanced teams. Oh, it looks like Lando cleans up. Nice. Alright. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.